Because this is a representation of the types of mentors and voices that Youngry has. And all these people were handpicked by Vanessa and I, and they all have a part in the Youngry journey. So on the far right is a guy named Brian McMahon. If you hear about helping entrepreneurs, I do not know anyone, honest to God, in this room who spends more hours helping entrepreneurs than this man. Brian McMahon runs an amazing place called Expert Dojo. It's in like the heart of Santa Monica. It's on like it's by the 3rd Street Promenade. He has a rooftop like overlooking like a promenade. It's dope. It's insane. And like he does programs like pitch contests. He does incubator workshops. He does these one-on-one sessions. He does this. I don't know, anyone here is looking to raise money, go to Expert Dojo, because they do this thing called the Investor Festival. I don't know anyone in SoCal who is able to get more investors in one room. But most importantly, this guy gives a darn about this entrepreneurship society that we have. And so having him here is really amazing. Lisa Song is, I mean, God, I can describe her in so many ways. Boss lady, just gets it done, but all jokes aside, she is a really amazing, inspired person. She's run a successful TV show, very successful real estate developer. She has her own entrepreneurial venture. Check this out, guys. I'm going to self-promote her product because this is the sickest product. How many people here like to drink? Just socially. Okay. How many people like cupcakes? She has a combination of the two. You know, it's like when Steve Jobs did that. It's a phone and an MP3 player. It's the same thing. It's like alcohol and cupcakes. Alcohol-infused cupcakes. And check the name out. Sin City Cupcakes. How badass is that, right? So y'all want that, you know, she'll hook you up. It's a great product. She really is a forward-thinking person. And so having her perspective here is amazing. So she doesn't like when I say this to her because I've called her this, but we have the godmother in the house. Pam Kashani is the godmother of the Silicon Beach movement. Don't ask me. How many people know who she is? Come on, raise your hand. Anyone know who Pam Kashani is? See? Got some hands here. People know who she is. She's such a tireless mentor. And her experience, she travels across the world to help entrepreneurs and other people who are working on their dreams and goals make it happen. And she herself is a successful entrepreneur. She's running an awesome kind of a program that she'll talk about. Now, Rachel Brooks Smith is like, you know, when you talk about that, you know, she's my fam or he's my fam, like, this is my fam. Like, I've known this girl for like 4 or 5 years. It's amazing. And I think we have a common thing. We're both vision board junkies, and that's how we first met, talking about vision boards. But what's amazing about Rachel is that she's a successful actress. Some of you might have seen her on projects like Center Stage and Turn It Up, and she's done a lot of. She's been the face of multiple brands. She's a fitness advocate for different products. But what's really cool about her is that there's a side of entrepreneurship which isn't talked about a lot, and that's called the self-brand entrepreneur. The individual who can use their name and build like a following or a movement around an idea. And she's really mastered this around health and wellness and fitness. So having her perspective is really, really cool. So let's give it up for our panelists. So I'm going to try to ask as many rapid-fire questions because I want to get the audience to meet you or ask questions. So if you guys can keep your answers under a couple minutes if possible. And we're not live, so you can swear, Brian, don't worry. I'm referring to you. Well, it's the profanity part. You can swear because we're not on live, so it's all good. So Brian, this goes for you. You have run Expert Dojo now for a few years. You have seen the actual Silicon Beach SoCal movement grow. How many people here are entrepreneurs or business owners or professionals based in Southern California? Raise your hand. Majority, right? I figured. Okay. What do we need to know about for this year for entrepreneurs in Silicon Beach? Like, what's changed? You've seen a lot of stuff, right?
Right, so it's kind of I am, as an Irish guy, it's really hard for me to keep this to under a couple of minutes, but I'm going to, right? There are two answers to this question. The first answer is obviously what are the hottest products and things which are going really well. Over in the dojo, we have a very early stage accelerator. We bring about 100 companies through every quarter. It goes across the gambit, what type of companies there are. Our fastest growing company is a company called Swell. Swell are an AI company. They are the fastest growing bot company in the world. And if you don't know what bots are, you need to find out, because Facebook, Kick, anyone who's in a place of influence are all over bots right now. So all of these replies that it seems like you're getting them from a call center, but really they're all AI, they're bots. And just to show you the power of bots, these guys spent $4,500 in advertising in the last 4 months. How many users would you say they acquired? Give me a number. You're all startups, like with $4,500 in advertising, like what's the max users you'd expect? 3.5 million. Okay? Bots are friggin' hot. So bots are great. And the second thing that we love right now, and by the way, this is just the first part of the question. The second thing we love right now is VR, live streaming of VR. If you haven't had the experience of live streaming VR, it's going to change everything, absolutely everything. And companies are finally getting to the stage where it's able to be done. And I just want to move to the second part of the question, which is, you know what should be really hot in 2017? And that's us not having a 97, 98% failure rate. Whatever we talk about entrepreneurship, it's really glamorized, it's made sound fantastic, but we normally don't look at the massively high failure rate within entrepreneurship itself. And I often say, look, as an Irishman, I would never go to a bar with a 98% chance of not getting a beer, or get into a fist fight with a 98% chance of losing. I would run. Right, that's what I would do. That's what I'm trained to do. So as entrepreneurs, we just need to get way smarter. We need to move miles away from the hype and this is great, this is what we should do, and move much more to the practicality of how do we move our success rates up to 20-30%.
Wow. Ride for president of entrepreneurship. That was amazing.
I actually thought you were going to say at the start, we're going to make entrepreneurs great again. Just until you didn't say it. You didn't say it.
I was tempted. I'm afraid we're going to make entrepreneurs great again. So Lisa, you have a great background because you write now with Forbes. You know, you built a brand, and everyone has been to Vegas for CES, for other events. What is it like in Vegas right now for actual entrepreneurship? Like, if anyone here wanted to relocate to Vegas because the cost of living is better, there's a lot of opportunities. Does it make sense?
100%, yes. So I moved to Las Vegas after law school in 2010, started working my big girl job at the law firm, and then started Sin City Cupcakes in 2012. Nevada is very business friendly, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a former Miss Nevada. Okay. That was part of my shtick, right? But no, it's really business friendly. It's a place where the cost of living is so low for all the big city amenities that you get. Hello, your Raiders are coming. Sorry about that. But you know, it's just a place where everyone is really, really excited to be doing business in Las Vegas. And if you have a business or a business idea that caters to tourists, come do it in Vegas. The majority of our clientele for Sin City Cupcakes, 85% are tourists, and they're coming to Las Vegas anyway. They're coming for a birthday party, a bachelorette party, a reunion, a wedding, event, whatever it is. The city does all the marketing for us. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? They do the marketing for us, and people are coming anyway. So now all you need to do is just get your product right in front of them. The Strip is only 2.2 miles of the entire city. It's a very small amount of the city that you can take over very quickly. And then the rest of it, you live off the Strip if you choose to. I live in Summerlin. I have a home there. It's very normal. There's grocery stores and gas stations and private schools, and there's not a casino in sight, you know? So I love it. I definitely would encourage it. And it's also not only business friendly, but the state statutes are written to protect business owners. So you have self-serving trust, you have very strong LLCs. There's a reason why certain businesses are headquartered in either Delaware or Nevada. It's because it's business friendly.
That makes sense. That's good. So, one thing that Cam and I bond about is we're both into the whole mindful revolution. We've done some panels on this, and I'm not trying to be a talking piece on this because I don't want to infringe on people's personal views, but I think the one thing that every entrepreneur has to do is learn how to do meditation. I think stress, having that toxic life, sometimes being an entrepreneur is hard. We go through a grind. There's some weeks, some days where we're working 16 hours, some days we're just decompressing. And Cam, you've taken this idea of mindfulness and meditation, and you've created an amazing program. I just wanted you to get to talk about that, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. Shameless plug. Well, thank you. You guys hear me? I am pretty loud. So I have a company called ProExcel, and what it is a human accelerator. So it's a 3-month program that's one-on-one where we accelerate you through your work. It's a component of mindfulness, it's a component of coaching, it's a component of relationship capital, and there's also marketing business strategy in there. Anything and everything you might need to be able to succeed. It's a customized plan for each person. Now the mindfulness component of it is really, really crucial. Personally, I'm an entrepreneur. I have this company. This is my 3rd company. I am a single mom with 2 kids. They're 4.5 years old. They're twins. I am all over the place doing a lot of stuff. I work with the State Department as an expert speaker. That's why I go around the world doing all the things that this guy was saying. I have a lot of shit. And I keep adding to it because I'm crazy. But without meditating or without having that component of mindfulness within my work and incorporated into my life, I would be like heart attack. It was like yesterday. Mindfulness and meditation is so crucial to performance and to really being able to see things from a detached view, so you're not reacting, you are being proactive. And I really try to insist upon entrepreneurs and human beings in general to get that type of behavior, make it a habit. Habits are what's going to create success. And meditating is so crucial to really getting aligned with yourself and really relieving stress and becoming way more present in life and actually seeing opportunities that pop up right in front of you, as opposed to thinking that you're just supposed to go that way, because that's when you limit yourself and you sabotage yourself.
As a sequel to my earlier comment, we're going to make meditation great. Anyways, all jokes aside, thank you so much. That was awesome. Rachel, I think when you talk about performance, I don't know anyone actually who really performs at the level that you do. Like, you mastered your food, you've mastered your wellness and your diet. A lot of people here, especially our biz dev, hustler, marketer type people, and I feel that a lot of them sometimes have a bad immunity system because they're just on it all the time. They're not taking care of their body. Like, what are some things that you do that keeps you so productive? Because you work 10, 14, 16 hours, but you're always in a good state and you're always got good sleep. What do you do? Like, what's your program? We want to know.
I love that you asked me that. I think it's a constant, it's the beautiful balance of, like, going super hardcore, but then being your why. Knowing your why is like, why am I doing this? Like, that at like the root of everything will help you get through, I think, anything. I started a brand called Disruptive, and we make apparel. So we have Disruptive apparel, but it's all about disrupting thoughts, learning to ask better questions to get better results to create a better life. These are actually one of our pants. They're new, actually. They're made from recycled plastic bottles. Shameless plug. But yeah, so it's all about, I think, disrupting thought patterns. So anytime I find myself in a negative state, instead of asking the question that's kind of automatic for most people is, like, why is this happening to me? Why does this suck so bad? Why is this so hard? Why don't I feel good? I can disrupt that and say, okay, that's not getting me anywhere other than staying on this this hamster wheel circle that I'm on. But if I can ask a better question and say, okay, allow myself to be human and say, okay, this sucks and it's hard and I'm frustrated, but what could I do if I really wanted to feel better or to move forward or to, make change happen in my life? And I mean, our brains are just these amazing computers, and whatever question you're asking yourself, you're going to get an answer. So I think it's shifting from, just thinking to thinking productively, thinking disruptively. And I can't tell you how passionate I am about that because it literally changed my life. It took me from a state of just craziness, obviously being an actress and an entrepreneur, just a ton of just stuff all the time. But it wasn't until I started doing that and really practicing meditation and knowing every day, asking myself, what is it that I need to do to feel happy and fulfilled? What do I personally need, not somebody else, but me? And also setting feeling goals. If all you're setting is to-do list goals, all of those to-dos is because you think that's going to make you feel better in some way. But at the root of all those things is to feel better, to feel happy. If you're not ever setting, like, what do I want to feel today? How do I want to grow today? Who do I want to love today? What kind of impact do I want to make today? If those aren't at the forefront, like, you're always going to not feel, at least for myself, but I noticed, unfulfilled, scattered, overwhelmed. But if I can say, set yourself up to win. I used to make things so hard for myself. I had all these rules that maybe are like unconscious. But I think it's making it almost, easy for yourself to win. If you wanted to, you could disrupt every frustration, every hard time with an extreme amount of gratitude, completely change your state, and then act from a completely different space, and then attract like things that are in that same vibration. Like I used to be like, oh, you hear a lot what you think you attract, and I just mind blown how that's like half of it. It's what you're feeling. We're acting from what we're feeling, the state of being that you're in, and asking better questions can help you shift to that. Not like I'm happy, but like what could I do if I wanted to feel more happy right now? Your brain's gonna how many of your brain started already thinking of something that you could possibly do? Anyways, I will go on forever about this. I'm super passionate about it, so obviously. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I have a follow-up question to that, because what I also want to know is, how do you turn your mind off when you're grinding for 10, 14 hours? Because you are like Miss Facebook Live. Like, I'm probably the king of Facebook Live.
I think we're on live right now, actually.
Yeah, there you go. No pun intended, yeah. But like, see? There you go. But you're always on it. You're closing deals, you're doing partnerships, coming up with creative things like disruptive. Like, how do you calm yourself at night so you can get good sleep? But I think sleep is something that is needed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've actually I launched an online course called Ridiculous Confidence, and so I've been going with a group of people that I've been doing it with. We're actually talking about that, and I think I'm absolutely not perfect at all. But I do know, the more I've been researching about that, talking about that, how crazy important sleep is. And actually, I read a study on WebMD the other day that not getting enough sleep, it lowers your ability to recognize leptin. Leptin is actually what tells your brain that you're full, so you'll always feel hungrier, you'll always crave more sugar, and your body will hold on to weight. So if you're trying to lose weight, getting more sleep literally could do that. Also, it can lower your sex drive. Another fun fact I learned. So I think putting sleep as a priority is actually a goal of mine, because it's been but things that guided meditations for me are huge. I actually released some online. They're on iTunes. It's called Action Hero Life. It's an album. They're just like kind of guided meditations and audios. Guided meditations and yoga, and some really cool, I just think finding what works for you. Like, whatever works for you, it'll be different from anybody else. And I think owning and celebrating our own uniqueness, and trying out different things. Like, I used to never think I would ever be into yoga, because I grew up a gymnast and a dancer, and I was like, no, that's too easy. But honestly, it changed my life. Like, as soon as I started practicing that and slowing down, and I was constantly in the space of go and do and drive and push and force. And the second I disrupted that with realizing that I wasn't acting from my best self, like when you're stressed, when you're rushed, when you're not making the best decisions, it's actually when you allow yourself to calm down, take a couple of deep breaths, and connect with your higher self, you're gonna make better decisions.
Us?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, I feel like we have the view going on here. Like, what is this?
Collaboration in the works, I feel.
You know, I'm going to ask you guys one last question, but I actually wanted to recognize one other person here. I know I mentioned to you that this has been a journey, and we actually have someone here that came all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. He has been with us in the early days. I just want to recognize Randy. Thank you for coming here. Came from Phoenix, means a lot to all of us, and
I'm from Phoenix, by the way.
so my last question is, and then I want to ask the crowd if they want to ask anything before we adjourn, is if you could give one piece of advice to an entrepreneur, just one or two things. It could be your younger self, it could be someone you're mentoring, you just want to give advice to someone who's young and hungry, wants to hustle, make it happen. What would that be?
So, at the beginning of the accelerator over at an Expert Dojo, we wanted to firstly understand. So, for the first 9 months, we opened up the space. And we didn't charge anybody anything. We brought in entrepreneurs, and all we did was study. And we tried to understand why was there such a high failure rate. Because my first bit of advice is, be an entrepreneur. For God's sake, don't get a job. I mean, that's my boy there. And I say, don't you dare get a job. Be an entrepreneur your whole life. I mean, creating is the foundation of life on every level. And if you can't do it between 8 o'clock in the morning and 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, it's just a sad start. Not that I judge in any way. But we want to understand if being such an entrepreneur is such an awesome experience, then why wouldn't there be higher failure? Why do we have places like Israel where where success rates are way higher, or Canada where success rates are way higher, and why are they still low? And here were the 3 or 4 things that we found out. And they're our driving force for this year, even though we found this out 2 years ago. Number 1, we're not educated enough to be entrepreneurs. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, just thinking about it, dreaming the dream, looking at Tony Robbins and saying, I can be, therefore I am, ain't going to happen. You need to be educated as much as you can. In the same way you've got to be educated if you're going to be a doctor. Number 2, and to Cam's point, be coached. And they don't have to be by professional people that you're paying money to, but they have to be people who have got experiences in areas that you're weak in. I am amazing at business development. Absolutely friggin' awesome, right? It's why we're driving a glass truck around LA with a big LED ball on the top of it. Like, that's what I do. But I suck at creativity. I know that's not my strong area. So I surround myself with better coaches and mentors who are really good at that. Number 3, make sure you milestone. This is the very biggest one that I'm just going to put out there. We absolutely oppose lean startup as a philosophy. We don't like the fact that there's no business planning, i.e. milestoning. We don't like the fact that there's no branding. We don't like the fact that there's no groundwork to start your business. If you're going to have a business, you say to yourself, I need to have this amount of revenue coming in at this time, in this space in the future. And then you milestone it back so you know specifically today what activities do you need to do to make sure that you achieve the objectives at the end of January. And that way you don't miss your target in 9-10 months time and say I was unlucky, and then you're driving an Uber while you're trying to do it at the same time. You're missing your target 2 weeks after you set it, and then you're fixing it and you're realigning it. So my advice is, biggest one, milestone, milestone, milestone. Make yourself a Waze map from the very beginning all the way through your journey. And if you do that this year, then you will be a long way ahead of 98% of the rest of the entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Lisa.
My one piece of advice would be to get out there and get engaged in your community. So during my time as Miss Las Vegas and Miss Nevada, it was 18 months of my life, and I did over 500 community appearances. I was reading in schools, I was volunteering in hospitals, I was walking red carpets, I was everywhere, all over the state. And even though it physically took me away from my businesses, I had a frank discussion with my partners before I took on the pageantry, and I was like, if I win, this is the type of journey I want to have. And they were all supportive about it. They were in the audience when I won. And even though it physically took me away from all my businesses, all of the companies saw an increase in our bottom line. And it's because people were out there meeting me. And of course, it always turned into a conversation of, well, what else do you do besides Miss Nevada? And that was my opportunity to talk about alcohol cupcakes. So it's just an amazing opportunity for you to get out there, meet people, get to know your community that you're working so hard to make a living in. People around you will want to help you once they meet you.
Thank you.
Well, mine would be, I've worked with over 4,000 entrepreneurs and over 700 startups, and I see a pattern of success. And I have kind of created like the 5 fundamental traits of a successful entrepreneur. Number 1 is self-awareness. Build yourself. You are the product. Invest in yourself. Anything you create is simply an extension of you. So the more powerful and equipped you are, more likely you'll succeed, right? So self-awareness is number 1. Persistence. Can't give up. You're going to get stuck a lot. Therefore, persistence and resilience. If you are not resilient, you are not an entrepreneur, and you have no business being one. You've got to keep getting up every time you fail. Failure is, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, but you got to keep going. The Chinese actually have a really cool proverb: fall 7 times, stand up 8.
The Irish have a better proverb. If you don't drink before you fall down 7 times.
Amen to that.
I can't argue with that one. In addition to that passion, what she was saying about the why, you gotta know your why, you gotta know your purpose, you gotta really align with that and build from there, and you're gonna create something that is so valuable and that serves on such a higher level, and you're gonna have this sense of fulfillment that's just gonna be this fuel within you that'll keep you going in those moments that are hard, and those moments that suck, and those moments that are difficult and you question everything, right? So it's, did I say 5? Self-awareness, passion, persistence, resilience, detached. You need to be detached from the outcome. You need to realize that things are going to fall in place in certain ways and you have no control over the external circumstances. You only have control over yourself. So detach yourself from specific results and understand that things will come together in a different way. And it all in the end works out as long as you're showing up as your powerful badass self.
I love all those answers. This is kick ass. I think realize the power of you. You know, knowing that you are the only you that there will ever be throughout all of space and time ever. There will never be another person that is just like you, that goes through the same challenges, that has the same uniqueness about them, and only you can impact the world in the way that you can. Like, you're going to be able to touch people that I never could. And I'm going to be able to, touch other people, and there is enough room for everybody to win if we help support each other and stop tearing each other down and acting from a place of fear and scarcity. And I think celebrating our differences and our uniqueness and that powerful, just that power that is in people that own who they are. It was the second that I stopped suppressing the things that made me different. Like, what are the things that make you different is what makes you freaking awesome. And what if the more you let that out, the more you're going to inspire others to do the same. And one of my great, I think, friends and mentors over there, Miss Lucas Asher, is an amazing entrepreneur and an amazing rock band named Faulkner. But the reason, so much of the reason why I am who I am, he taught me to fail forward. Like, get in the game. And I did not understand that until recently, I think, of how, I was like, it needs to be perfect. I can't release something until, like, I just have all these ideas and all these things I want to do. And it wasn't until I just realized, like, every single company that is crushing it right now started at a completely different place. Facebook, Uber, Twitter, every single company is completely different. And they launched and they kept improving all along the way. And my third point would be to, rather than, to focus on building a community and caring about the people that you have so much, creating raving fans, rather than always searching and seeking for more. The more you love and you celebrate and you give to the people that you already have, the more they're just going to go tell everybody else. authenticity, transparency, like be real in who you are. Let's share our challenges. You share your challenges, share your wins and your challenges. But we never share our challenges. We never share the lessons that we're learning. That's what it's about. And I, just been talking even on my platform of why can't we share our challenges more? Why can't we share the lessons, not from a complaining way, but like, guys, this is what I learned, this is what I went through, this is how I grew, this is how I learned, and just sharing. I don't know everything, I am not a guru, but this is just something I learned today, and if it can help somebody else not go through what I went through, I am a happy girl.
All right, I gotta say one thing. In the spirit of politics, when she talked, I think when you say I'm with her, it's with her. That's some good stuff. Oh my God, that was amazing. Thank you.